Greetings, my dear friends in zones 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm so excited to join you today to talk about your role in sharing Rotary stories, especially with the media in your own communities. In this era of immediate breaking news, particularly through social media, we all need to think about how to best manage what we do and what we say. The good news is that most Rotary stories are stories of hope and goodness and making incredible change in our world. That said, even good news stories, though, require thoughtful participation by each and every one of us. As Governor's-elect and Governor's nominee, I want to provide you with some practical tips on how to deal with the media. These are insights and techniques that you will hopefully find valuable in your vocational life as well. Once you're prepared, it helps to reduce the stress of being part of an interview. I've done hundreds of interviews in my life, as the owner of my company, as the past chair of our Chamber of Commerce, as a Rotary senior leader. And I can tell you there's not one time that I have not prepared in advance, no matter how well I knew the subject. There's only so much that we'll be able to cover today, so one of the best things I can recommend is upon your return home to seek out someone who can help you with additional media training. This is also a valuable lesson that you can share with your club presidents. So, you get the call. A reporter wants to talk to you and your palms start to sweat. Now, this is going to sound perhaps unbelievable, but research actually shows that more people would rather die than public speak. So being prepared is good for your mental and your physical health. When a reporter calls requesting an interview, don't hesitate to ask the subject of the interview and for some sample questions. If you need time to collect your thoughts and the reporter's deadline allows it, offer to call back later at a specific time and then follow through. During an interview, avoid Rotary jargon. Things like PDG, DGE, RRFC, RPIC. You get where I'm going with this. Half of our Rotarians are not familiar with all of our acronyms and titles that we use. Why would the general public be any different? Journalists value the expert who can skillfully present complex concepts in plain and straightforward language. So let's say, for example, that you're explaining about the changeover of leadership in your area on July 1st, and many of you will receive media coverage, or you should be seeking it by sending out a media release in advance. What you don't want to say is that Ashish now becomes the immediate PDG of our district and I'm happy to take over the helm as our new district governor. Might not mean a lot. Instead, what you might want to say is that in Rotary, we change our leadership positions each year. Our outgoing leader, Ashish Sharkar, has been a force in our community to help create positive change, and he is an exemplary leader. I look forward to building on his great work and know this will be an exciting and progressive year in our area. It's all about how you create context. By eliminating the jargon, we can help people better understand Rotary. And at the end of the day, there's no better way to build our brand. The next thing I want you to think about is the monetary value of dealing with the media. The dollars we collect for our projects are hard-earned, and every one of them deserves to go towards making lives better. When you receive media attention for a project, that's money you didn't have to spend. So you really need to determine, what is your hook? Why would a newspaper, a radio station, or a television station want to give you free coverage? A few years ago, I joined a group of young Rotary professionals, and we toured part of the United States in a large recreational van covered in Rotary images. It was called Rollin' with Rotary. We spent 11 days on the road raising awareness about why Rotary is vibrant and relevant. We worked with clubs in advance to generate events and media opportunities. In the Detroit area, we poured water from the Detroit River into shelter box filters and drank the water. In Ohio, we carried water on our heads like so many women do every day. We did random acts of kindness and even helped plant and weed a couple of gardens for some local shelters. The media loved these events, and in the end, we accumulated over 5 million media impressions, and we never spent a dime. That's also where this ever-growing importance of social media is invaluable, and it showcases to Rotarians and non-Rotarians what we do. So, how do you prepare for an interview? Well, when you're preparing, I want you to think of 3 or 4 main points that you want to make about your project or program. Anticipate questions that the reporter might ask and have responses ready. And no matter what they ask you, you know the story that you want to tell. If the reporter's questions don't relate to the main point of your story, you can ensure that you have an opportunity to effectively convey your points by saying, I think the important aspect of the project is this, or the main point is this. Now, here's a few more quick tips, but very important ones. Be brief. Television and radio stories may only use 10 or 30 seconds of what you say. Speak with conviction in a conversational tone while retaining your composure. Be confident. Remember that you are the expert. Be colorful. Tell stories and anecdotes that illustrate your point and give examples. Stick to your main points. Most people make the mistake of talking too much, trying to fill in the dead space. Speak in complete sentences. The reporter's questions may be edited out, and your response should stand on its own. So if a reporter asks, why is it important that you raise money for polio? You want to begin your answer with the beginning of their question. The important thing about raising money for polio is, and you continue. At the end of the day, it's important to remember that nobody's perfect. So when you give a less than perfect answer to a reporter's question, or give an answer that's factually incorrect, start over. Be straightforward and tell the reporter you'd like to rephrase your response. If you don't understand a question, ask for clarification rather than talking around it. And if you don't have the answer, say so. Tell the reporter where to find the information, if possible. And never say no comment. Instead, if you can't or choose to not answer, explain why. For example, I can't answer that because I've not seen the research you're referring to, or something like that. And finally, if merited, give positive feedback to reporters after a story appears. Like the rest of us, they usually only hear complaints and rarely get a call or a note saying that they've done a good job. I hope these tips are something that will serve you well. And remember, we have incredible public relations staff and Rotary Public Image coordinators and assistants that are only a telephone call away. We all stand ready to make your term the very best it can be. Now, get out there and tell our stories. Thank you.